Next up, we have Anybody Else by Panda Eyes, featured in Geometry Dash is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, members get early access to the content, artists, Panda Eyes, or anybody else I want to collaborate, whether it is provide guitars, do Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing. I have a whole spiel for that at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, let's go ahead and do this. Anybody else? Let's go. Thank you, Megumi. I've opened it. Okay, we start with two elements. We have a synth very high up. It's not really striking, it's more like undulating with the volume, and it's giving us a semblance of a rhythm, while on the lower side we have a bass doing a bass line. It could be our motif, but it sounds just like a standard chord progression. So motif, of course, being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from, and then chord progression is chord progression is just the order in which you are playing your chords, usually in the context of the harmony that you are in. When you're making music, you have three elements. You have melody, you have harmony, and you have rhythm. Melody is your individual horizontal lines of music. You know, the individual, that kind of thing. Your rhythm is going to be time, how fast, how slow things happen, when they happen, beat, all that kind of stuff. And then harmony is going to be the most complex. It is what chords you're using, what scales you're using, what notes you're using, what scales that makes, what chords you can get out of those scales, what scales you can get out of your chords, the relationship between them, and you can just keep extrapolating and adding layers and layers of layers of extrapolation. So right now, what we have is called a bass line. A bass line is going to be most likely the lowest note of the chord progression that you are playing. So for example, let's say we have the chord progression of what? So let's say we have C to A minor, to D minor, to G. So if we have that and we are doing with what is called voice leading is when you try to move as few notes as possible. Joel, welcome today, how you doing? So we would have this, right? So we can have this, but if we then add a bass line, the bass line, what it's going to be is that I'm just going to be, while I'm doing this progression over here, I am going to have the other hand doing the lowest note of the chords to give us the actual bass, the actual movement that is happening. So in this case, it would be something like this. Oh, my bad. I am not a pianist, but you can feel how just adding the bass line changes it, even though the bass line is just. So it's basically just giving us the lowest note of the of the chords that we're playing, or the lowest notes in general. Of course, not every bass line has to be that. You can have your inversions, you can add more complex bass lines to that, but in general, usually your bass is going to try to just play the lowest notes that you have in your scale. So we're having something like that going on over here. Could be a melody. Let's see where it goes. Laser, welcome today, how you doing? So the upper synth is adding a little bit more. Oh. Okay, so we bring in some vocals. Now, when it comes to electronic music, I can never trust whether or not it's whether or not these vocals are actual vocals for a song for the song or if they are just vocal samples. So the difference, right? That would mean if it's vocals that have vocals for the song, for it to be a song, then it's a song. Songs are going to have lyrics, they're going to have vocals, and these vocals and lyrics are going to be the driving factor of the music. Whereas a piece or a track, which is usually instrumental, having those vocal samples is going to be there primarily for the purposes of texture, not so much for that to be the driving factor. So let's see, because if this is the case, then we had, if it's the case that it's a song, we had a quick intro, and now we would be in verse number 1. Let's see if it continues. And Lugs, welcome today. How you doing? Okay, now we're in the verse. So this introduction, something that is very common in songs is to have your chorus sung during the introduction, which is, you know, it's a more melodic, it has a lot catchy, it's a lot more catchy, whereas verses are going to be more about the lyrics. It's as the way I put it, your verse is going to be lyrics over music, whereas chorus is going to be music over lyrics. So there's that. Don't mind the lyrics, by the way. It's okay, I can't read. So let's continue now. So now we have. So now we bring in a piano. We bring in a piano to play the block chords, to just play the chord progression that the bass has been foreshadowing for us. And now we have the verse of the vocal. So this is an actual song, not a instrumental. Let's see where it goes. That we go fucking silence, wondering if we're doing this with anybody else. Are you doing it? Are you doing this with anybody else? Are you doing this with... Okay, so we change things around. We are now doing repeated notes with our bass. So the concept of repeating notes, well, it's very, very simple. Repeated or repeating notes is when you have some sort of musical melody and you just redo it and you just play more than one note. You just repeat the notes more. That's mixing right now. So if we were to have this melody, right, like this, the good old C major that we do, and if we were to do repeated notes, that is basically what the bass line is doing right now. So we have the repeated notes, we change the drums around, we are adding a little bit more dynamics, and having these repeated notes and the, what's it called, and the bass line having the repeated notes. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on with my brain today? Okay, if you have we have the repeated notes in the bass line, we have the drums going on at the same time, with now the change in the drums adding it a little bit more dynamic. We have a change going on in the vocals, which I believe gives us what is called a pre-chorus. I think it's a pre-chorus going on right now, pre-chorus number 1. So, yes, as a bass line, also an example of octave displacement? No. The bass line is just doing the chord progression just on the lower end. So it's not octave displacement in this case. It is just a regular bass line. Bass lines can have octave displacement a lot of the times. It's very, very common for musicians to bounce on the octaves. For example, a very, very common one is if you have your... what is called an inauthentic cadence. So we have this, right? And then we go back from this. We don't resolve the chord. We are using the dominant here. We then bring it back. So, yeah, there you go. And, yeah, Mythic, if you care about viewers, you're on the wrong stream. Again. All right, let's see. So we're having this. Let's see where it goes. Anybody else? Are you doing this with anybody else? Oh, no, yep. The bass is doing, the bass is doing octave displacement. So you did get there. So on top of it having some repeated notes, we are engaging in octave displacement. You were right. So octave displacement is when you, as it says, displays which octave the notes are played in. As I said, when you have your melody, you have notes. Each scale will then be divided into octaves. So let's bring the key of C major for the simple example, right? So C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And then once we go to the 8th note, that is called an octave, which just repeats the notes. Again, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And let's do this one more time. And B. So now we have between C and C, it's just an octave. Between D and D, it's an octave, that kind of thing. And the concept of octave displacement is when you have a melody or when you have a series of notes and then you just change which side this is happening. So let's say we have this over here. Here we have C, here we have D, and here we have E, which would be these three over here, C, D, and E. If we engage in octave displacement, that means we're going to be playing C, D, and E in that order, but not necessarily over here, which means we could change the D from C up to D here, back to E over here, which would sound something like that, like this. And then any other combinations that you want. In this case, what we are doing is that we are having octave displacement in the repeated notes in the bass. So instead of having, let's say, we're doing that same chord progression we've been having, right? But instead of just doing that, we could have this. So that kind of thing. I messed up the last one with putting an A. But yeah, we're having basically just, we're having this thing of going up the octave. It just adds a little bit more dynamics, that kind of thing. So let's see, we have that going on. Let's see where it goes. So you can hear how the pre-chorus is building up. This is not quite as melodic as it was during the verse, but it is a little, it's not quite as melodic in the chorus that we had in the intro, but it is also not quite as text heavy as it was in the verse. The pre-chorus, of course, is the connecting part between your verse and your chorus. Let's see how this builds up. Okay, so we go ahead and instead of doing the pre-chorus, we go for a beat drop. We do a beat drop instead of the chorus, which, again, it's a beat drop. It's really cool. You can have a kind of get in-between part. And of course, this being a beat drop, we're introducing new rhythms. We're introducing a fairly simpler bass line, mainly for texture. Because when you're making music, you want to keep a careful balance between what is familiar, what is new. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, too much of the same thing, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There's one universal exception for any and every genre, which is solos. You bring in a solo, no matter what instrument, as long as it sounds cool enough and it fits enough, you can get away with it. Then electronic music has one additional exception, which is dropping the beat. If you drop the beat, you can get away with introducing any material that you want. And yeah, you can get away with it, kind of like here, because most of this material, most of this new, the whoop-whoopness of the bass is very rarely related to the material that has already been established during the previous sections. So let's see where this goes. So we're having the... And there we go, we bring in the chorus. The chorus one with the whoop-whoopness of the... Yes. I like how in this case it's not a regular dubstep whoop whoop, but it's like a synth with a sound effect of like a laser, like, you know, those old like toy guns that had like the laser sounds, or, you know, the sound that Baby crocodiles make, that kind of thing. So yeah, the whoop whoop of the bass is not quite there, but we'd still get away with that. And of course, we have those triplets going, making it sound a little bit faster than before. So a triplet, of course, being part of the concept of tupleting. Straight eighth notes, they're gonna sound very like metronomic, like very on the clock. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and your triplets would be putting 3 notes where there would be 2, distributing them equally. So it would go 1 ta ta, 2 ta ta, 3 ta ta, 4 ta ta, that kind of thing. Let's see where it goes. That was nice. That was nice. We got a little moment there with a little bit of rhythmic displacement. We had a little bit of silence there. We push the hitting of the drums ever so slightly, giving us a split second of silence just to savor that. Sometimes this kind of silence is louder than any other instrument you could put in, and this is good. Let's see where it goes. Yes, you can hear these sounds have nothing to do with any of the material, but we are having, and I like that we're doing a call and response with this. So call and response is a musical conversation. Right now it's very audible. You have the dubstepness of the whoop whoop. It's not really whoop whoop this time around because it's not really dubstep, but we're using these other synths, and whenever they stop, the vocalist sings. When that one stops, these ones continue. Call, response, musical conversation, keeps things going. Let's see where it goes. We bring back some of the... Ooh! Okay, and now is this a break or is this still part of the drop? So we have changed the vibe a little bit. I would say this already counts as an instrumental break. We have gone from the chorus, we have changed the rhythm around a little bit, and we have introduced a slightly new bass line and slightly new drum line. Let's see where it goes. Still with the chorus. So this is still part of the chorus. Yeah, this is all part of the chorus. We're just getting those... Oh! And off the ramp we go. That was very abrupt. Off the ramp, of course, being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a specific type of transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats, it can be as long as an entire section, and the purpose of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you'll land. How do you do that? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, and yeah, we took a brief moment kind of like glitching the music, and now we're back in the verse. So we now have verse number 2. So January 1st, 2026 will be the great reset. Do you think it's real? I don't care. Let's see where it goes.
So many ways that I could fuck your mind up.
Back to the piano, playing those block chords. If the meme is resent, let them. And immediately back to the pre-chorus. Pre-chorus 2. You don't care? Correct. Correct. I am allowed to not care about things. Yes. Everybody is allowed to not care about anything and everything. Even if it affects you directly, you're allowed to not care. Bonfire, welcome today. So yes, let's see where it goes. Basically the same thing we did before. I'm trying to spot any other differences. Yeah, and right now the main differences are probably gonna be in the lyrics, although this beat is effective enough that you can just redo it. You can just do it again. There's no real harm on repeating something you've done once more. No real harm there. That would mean no more brain rot. If you actually believe that memes are gonna reset on January 1st, then you should probably... Then I have a bridge to sell you. Anyway, let's see where it goes. Yes, bonfire. Yes, it is. Off the ramp and ooh, beat drop 2. Oh, this one now we're embracing a little bit more the bass line. King, welcome to the bay. No, I'm not. We're doing this one right now. So yeah, we're not, and immediately we go from the beat drop to the chorus. Chorus number 2. We are now adopting. I like this because we are implementing the chorus into the beat drop, and it works. It works. It works. I'm wrapping my mind around this, and yeah, it works. It works. It's just, since this is not the usual drop beats that we listen to, then yeah, let's see where it goes. Off the ramp and continuing chorus number 2. King, yes, your recommendation may be liked by you, but don't forget that we had 50 others competing at the start of this, and we are gonna have another another sorting after this. You coming in and just telling me to listen to something is actually gonna reduce the chances of me wanting to listen to it. So yeah, let's continue this. I also noticed that we did replace the piano with strings. We now have a little synth playing strings, like string blot chords in the rhythm, kind of keeping the metronome while now that the bass line and the dropping of the beat are off doing their thing. Let's see where it goes. Yeah, just playing. Warm welcome today, Jack. Today. Yeah, like the only other difference I'm hearing is between the beats from the drum, we're having like a little shaker in between, but I think that was in the first drop at the same time. We are doing pretty much a 1-to-1 recapitulation in essence. The vocal line is doing the exact same thing as before, and we are just playing through it. Again, when I say there's a careful balance to be kept between what is familiar and what is new, that doesn't mean you can't repeat anything. Repeating something is perfectly fine. And right now, we are just repeating the chorus. We did have a new beat drop, and now we are building off of that. The new beat drop, of course, did not rely on triplets like the first one did. This one is relying a little bit more on the other kinds of syncopation. And yeah, that's where it goes. Off the ramp again, and off the ramp. Okay, and now we have the we go back, we do another recapitulation. Recapitulation is when you just repeat something that you already visited before. And this time, what we're doing, this is the outro, by the way, we are now having the bass being doubled by what seems to be a second bass line. Could be like a double bass, could be just a different kind of bass. But we have the bass now reinforced. Doubling is when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. You have now one synth playing the melody that was being sung by the vocalist not too long ago, plus the synth that was up above, giving us that like pulsating sound up above. Let's see where this goes. You want to see my desktop? I mean, I don't have much on the desktop really. Like it's pretty empty. Yeah, it's just I don't use icons on my desktop. I don't like having icons on my desktop. So there you go. Anyway, let's continue. I'm just more organized. And part of the outro. We have her singing the melody of the chorus, same way that we did at the start. Drexter, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Hey, how you doing? So we let that. We have that playing. We release everything. We let it echo out. We leave some ambient noise in. And we just let it echo out. We're just waiting for all that to echo out. And there you go. That was a very straightforward song. That was very, very straightforward. And yeah, I don't like... All my icons are down here. Like, everything I need is just down here on my taskbar. So, I don't need to have anything on my desktop. So, yeah. But yeah, there you go. Very straightforward use of the... verse chorus formula. Like, this is a very, very straightforward thing, because if we count the beat drop as being part of the chorus, we have intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, outro. This is a very, very straightforward formula for a song, but it was well executed. So there you go. There you go. That was Anybody Else by Panda Eyes, featured in Geometry Dash, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas of 2025, which is still a possibility, not very likely, but a possibility nonetheless, I will take a single fanfiction of the choice of the community, and I will fully produce, record, and voice act an audiobook for it. We also had a member offered to do a Discord Nitro giveaway. We might do other types of giveaways, like game giveaways, that kind of stuff. We'll see. If you want to contribute to the hype, or if you have other ideas, just let me know. We'll make as much of his work as possible. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no alt accounts, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two distinct concepts, by the way. Go share them with your online and offline communities. Use the hype function on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does. Link down below. Go check with them. That kind of stuff. Artists! Panda Eyes, or anybody else out there on YouTube, I want to collaborate. Anybody who wants to collaborate with me, please just reach out. If you want any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, my Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old ooh, 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 ooh kind of thing, or voice acting, regular singing, or if you want help figuring out something, or any other kind of collaboration, just reach out, let me know, and let's make it work. I wanna put myself out there, right? So yes, if you're in the audience and you know any artists that could benefit, let them know. Please do not harass anyone. Please do not spam anyone. Be cool about it. Don't be a rat about things. Yes, members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of the tier that you're in, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video, and it has the instructions on what to do. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in Discord and Twitch, both linked down below. So if you live in Dildo and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone. Discord, Twitch, both linked down below. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Bastard. That's where I put the gaming after shows when they happen. They get recorded live on stream, and then the recordings go on the channel. Link down below, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Bastard. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah. There you go. Anybody else? Panda Eyes. That was good. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. GD. Good stuff. But, yeah. Let's move on.